How's it going, everybody? I'm the BTC Reaper. My goal on this channel is to teach you how to reap the rewards of trading while the price is going up or down. So we will hop over to total. Over on total for the daily, we did try to retest that resistance area of that 936, like we said to watch for. And momentum is starting to round though. Our VWAP is starting to pull back. So keep an eye on that VWAP. As that VWAP continues to pull back, remember momentum will continue to weaken and money flow will follow. Our stochastic is starting to push down and the RSI does want to push up, but if that stochastic continues to push down, RSI could start to follow. If we look here at the 1 hour, it does look pretty positive. We could have a bit of a bull flag here, so we do have a channel that we would want to break out of. Actually, can't really draw that as a bull flag because the tops don't really connect. They don't really connect in a rising channel either. So I would say this attempted to create a bull flag. You could call this kind of a freak break up, getting that candle there, and then maybe you cut that candle off. Depends on how you would want to look at it. If we did call that a bull flag, it would try to push us up toward that 1 trillion mark and possibly beyond. Our VWAP is starting to push down. We are breaking into the bearish territory. Momentum is starting to round with a double red dot, and money flow is weakening. So I would watch that VWAP. If that VWAP continues to drop here, then momentum will continue to weaken. Money flow will continue to pull back, and price action will follow. Over on Bitcoin futures for the daily, it looks like we did get our break forward from that descending channel, so we will delete that since that has played out. Our momentum does have a red dot though, so I would exercise caution because that does signal we may see a reversal if that VWAP breaks that neutral. Money flow is in the green, but if momentum and VWAP both break away, we will see that money flow follow. Over on price action on the 1 hour, does look like we do have an attempt to make some consolidatory kind of move. Again, tried to make somewhat of a bull flag, can't really draw one here though. Our stochastic is starting to push down. Momentum does have a double red dot. That VWAP has a lower high, so watch out for a lower low. If we get a lower low, then price action is likely going to fall, and there is a 50% chance that we could fall to about 100k, possibly filling that gap. Remember, that gap is somewhere around that 101k, and then if we lose that gap, break that 101k gap, then we could push down to that 97k gap. So push to 99k could end up being a slippery slope if we're not careful. Over on Bitcoin for the daily, momentum does want to round away. Our VWAP is pulling back, stochastic is dropping, RSI is starting to weaken, so overall I would exercise caution here as well. Over on the 1 hour, we did break above our Fibonacci level, but we did end up rejecting and pushing back down. There is a high chance that we do end up pushing back down to about that 99% or 99k, sorry. So there's about 50% break chance that we could make that break. If we get that break to that 99k, remember, then we would push around that 97k where that other gap is on futures as well, because futures does lead Bitcoin. Over on that VWAP, we do have those weakening highs with weakening lows. So right now we do technically have a little bit of a lower low. It is a little bit of a stronger low compared to back here. So I would watch out for further red candles. Further red candles could cause that VWAP to confirm a bearish trend, bringing momentum lower, and that would start to weaken that money flow, which would weaken those higher time frames and potentially give us some stronger red candles, potentially dropping away. Remember, we did make a pretty quick move up, and when you do make quick moves, you do usually make retracements. Over on graph for the daily, we are bouncing off that support level. Our momentum is gaining strength, but that VWAP is pulling back. So if that VWAP continues to pull back, money flow could end up breaking away. So I would exercise caution there. Over on the 1 hour, it does look like we hit that value area low like we said to watch for. So we did get a bit of a push, but now it does look like we are starting to lose some momentum as we did see a very quick push. Again, quick pushes usually are retraced. Momentum does want to round away. We do have a double red dot. A VWAP does have a lower high, so watch out for a lower low and a break below this neutral. If we see that, momentum will start to push down, money flow will start to weaken, and price action will start to slide from here. Over on XRP for the daily, it does look like we have a long lower shadow candle, so this could be a bullish signal as it does show bears wanted to drop us down, but the bulls were able to maintain that support level. However, if this is followed by a red candle, we could also create a rounding top, which would bring us lower, so we could retest this Fibonacci level like the MPP says, and then give a bit of a push down if we're not careful. Our VWAP is starting to pull back, momentum is rounding, and the money flow is in the red, so I would watch those lower time frames. If they break bearish and hold, then it would be likely that we would see that break scenario. Over on the 1 hour, it does look like we do have some increasing lows, but the highs really aren't increasing or staying the same, so we really don't have much of a bullish pattern. Our momentum does want to round, so stochastic is starting to pull back. Our RSI is pretty flat. VWAP again does have a lower high, and watch out for a lower low because that could create a bearish continuation, which would bring that momentum lower, weakening money flow and causing us to get that break of that support level. But if that VWAP is able to make a bounce and follow it with a higher high, then we could continue forward. So that's going to be our bullish case scenario, is we need to see our VWAP maintain bullishly on these coins. Otherwise, it's likely that we would end up seeing some sort of retracement in response to all these quick moves up. Over on Anchor for the daily, last but not least, it does look like we got about half of our move forward, but we are meeting some resistance. We did push back down toward that 20-cent area, and we do have a long lower shadow candle, but we did the same yesterday, so this does create indecision, and it would be likely that we could see a red candle. If we see a red candle, we could start to slide, just like this time that we saw some indecision. So usually when you get these indecisive wicks, usually price action does start to get reversed. Our VWAP is starting to pull back. Our momentum does want to round. Stochastic does want to make a breakaway, and the RSI is flat, but if the stochastic breaks down, we would see that start to weaken price. Over on the 1 hour, so we may have this pattern pretty much played out. I am going to delete this pattern at this point just because we have made a pretty decent amount of the move. And the rest of the market does look a little more bearish, like it does want to retrace. So over on the 1 hour, our momentum is starting to round with a double red dot. That VWAP is starting to break through that neutral, so I would watch. If that VWAP continues to push through this neutral, then we likely would continue lower and get a breakaway. Right now, our momentum is rounding with a double red dot, suggesting that it does want to break away. And if that and VWAP continue to drop away together here, money flow will start to reverse. That would weaken those higher time frames, and that's what would cause that push down. That push down does have a high chance of being around that 1884 according to our MPP, so I would exercise caution on that. Thank you for watching tonight's video. I hope you have a great night. Hit the like and subscribe and join us in that Discord.